Hi everyone, welcome to Lecture 2E Part 2. In this session we're going to look at ethical versus unethical leadership. So first of all we're going to have a look at what ethical leadership means. So there's a definition here from Daft: distinguishing right from wrong and doing right, seeking the just, honest and good in the practice of leadership. The corporate world is reeling from lots of scandals. Names of sort of once revered companies are now thought of as greedy, deceitful and full of financial wrongdoing, like Enron, Martha Stewart and most of the global finance companies that went belly up in 2007 and 8. The American broadcasting company CBS conducted a survey in 2002, so it's quite old now but it's still quite relevant, that found that 79% of people who answered the survey thought that questionable business practices were widespread, and fewer than 1/3 of people thought that CEOs were honest. So when you guys get out there and start leading, you've got some good ground to make up. You can make big gains. Okay, so ethical versus unethical leadership. Daft's got a table and we're going to have a quick look at it. So basically the ethical leader is a humble leader. They maintain concern for the greater good. They're honest and straightforward. They fulfill their commitments. They strive for fairness with all people in the organisation. They take responsibility for their own actions and the actions of others. So when there's something that goes wrong, they look in the mirror. When there's something that goes right, they look through the window at their team and reward their team. They show respect for each individual. They encourage and develop others. They actually have a service mentality to the organisation and serve others. And what's more, they show courage to stand up for what is right. Conversely, the unethical leader is the opposite of that. They're arrogant and self-serving. They promote their own self-interest far more than the organisation's. They're quite good at being deceitful. They tend to breach agreements regularly. They deal unfairly with people, so all people won't be treated the same way. They're very good at shifting blame. They tend to leave other people feeling less dignified than they should be. They don't respect each person's individual dignity. They neglect to develop their followers. They tend to withhold help and support if it's going to get them what they want, and they often lack the courage to confront anything that's unjust. So not generally great people to hang around with. Acting like an ethical leader is also a tricky thing for most of us to do. We've got to develop and talk about and uphold our own high moral principles. We've got to focus on what's right for the organisation and the people involved. We've got to set the example that we want others to live by. We've got to be honest with ourselves and with others. We've got to drive out fear and discuss undiscussables. The undiscussables are things that we tend to veer away from discussing, like should we be ageist? How do we deal with sexism? Instead we tend to just pretend it doesn't exist, but that doesn't make it go away. We tend to establish and communicate ethics policies if we are an ethical leader. So we actually think about these things and try and make things as ethical as we can. We reward ethical conduct. We have a backbone and zero tolerance for ethical violations. Sorry, that's that one. We treat everyone with fairness, dignity and respect, from the lowest person in the organisation to the highest level. They're all treated the same way. And we do the right thing in both our private and professional lives, even when no one is looking.